was a cold December night, in a town just aft the Clyde, when Santa slipped on icy tiles and skelped his festive pride. He landed with a mighty thud, a ho-ho-ho turned ow! One leg bent like a candy cane, it wasn't funny now. He dusted aff red velour, adjusted hat and sack, then hobbled down to find a GP, slightly shaken, blue and black. He phoned the local practice, said, "I've fallen off a roof, you see." They sighed and said, "Press 1 for pain, press 2 if you cannae pee." A voice came back, polite but tired and sounding guy bleak. "Appointments? Aye, we had them once. Try phoning back next week." Santa blinked behind his specs, said, "But I'm Santa, don't you know?" They said, "Aye, pal, and I'm the king. Away you go." So Santa phoned an ambulance, expecting bells and all with it, but got a calm recorded voice that ruined Christmas spirit. "Your call is important to us." "Aye, heard that yin before." Estimated time, 8 hours. Maybe less, maybe more. He sat upon the curbside then, leg throbbing, bum a-frozen, while passers-by brought flasks of tea and sympathy by the dozen. A post, he said, "That's brutal, mate." A granny said, "What's wrong?" A lad in a battered transit said, "Chuck him in, I've got a van." They strapped him in with tinsel tape and drove him down the road, past A&E with people lined up right out the door looking bored. Nurses ran on empty legs, doctors juggled 10 at once, saving lives with paper clips and budgets scribbled by a dunce. "No fault of yours," said Santa, "you just haven't got the means. You're holding up a broken house with sellotape, hopes and dreams." The staff just smiled, exhausted, kind with humour dark as stout. If goodwill fixed the NHS, we'd sort it out, nae doubt. Meanwhile, back at the North Pole, drama struck the sleigh. Rudolph cracked an antler in a wholly different way. But off he went to see the vet, insured up to the hilt. Seen in 10 minutes, flat, nae waiting, nae guilt. A scan, a splint, some carrot chunks, a pat upon the nose. A follow-up, a festive card, and home the reindeer goes. "Top-class care," said Rudolph. "Nae forms, nae fuss, nae stress." Santa laughed, then winced in pain. "Aye, that figures, I guess." "For here I am," said Santa. "Santa bloody Claus, nae less. Depending on kind strangers and a system under stress. It's nae the staff, they're heroes, every single one of them. It's budget slashed by folk in suits who've never seen a ward at 10. They clapped on Thursdays, talked a game, then cut a million more. They praised the NHS in words, then starve it to the core. They've no idea what it's like to choose who waits and who is seen, with corridors as waiting rooms and hopes stretched paper thin. He healed up slow, but learned a lot that winter in the queue. That kindness fills the funding gaps when money will nae do. That Scotland's heart is stubborn, warm and quicker than the state. And folk will aye step in to help when the system makes you wait. So if you see a nurse this year with bags beneath her eyes, or a GP apologising for the 50th time, dinna be surprised. For Santa knows for personal pain and one long limping trek, the NHS is held together by goodwill and nae enough checks. And if the reindeer ever brag about their vet wi' no queue, Santa'll grin and say, "Aye, we're heading down that insurance pathway too." Merry Christmas, everyone.